Another trade recap for you today. This one is still ongoing, so technically we're in a live trade. Beautiful setup again. If I'm being honest with you, the reason I haven't taken this, I haven't waited for this to actually end before I've recorded this is because it's taking a really long time. I've already been in this for hours, as you can see. Do I feel confident in this actually winning? If I'm, it is a perfect OBX model setup. I'm happy with that. Do I care too much about the time involved so far? Not really. That doesn't really tell me a whole lot. What I do feel concerned about is the direction of price going super high time frame, meaning on the 1 day and the 4 hour, is not necessarily convincing for me to go full TP. So I am mentally prepared for this one to lose, even though I'm following OBX my strategy. And it is working so far, but I've also got chart intuition to a certain extent where I've seen this similar pattern a handful of times uh, in my trading career over the last almost 3 years. I've seen shit like this just sink out of nowhere and just fully lose. So I'm prepared for more so a loss, even though we're in profit now. And I know some of you probably might be saying, well, why don't you just take partials? Why don't you just get out right now? You're, closing in on a 1-to-1. I don't do that. My strategy, I don't go break even. I don't take 1-to-1s. I don't take anything under a 1-to-2 unless I have probable reasoning for it. In this case, when I say 1-to-2, this is a 1 to 1.95. That to me is a 1-to-2. I'm not so particular about it. When I place a trade, perhaps if I want to risk 1%, let's say that because I'm doing a challenge at the moment, let's say I'm risking $1,000, and when I place the trade, it's $1,050. I just set my TP for $2,000. I don't really care about the extra part. That's not the main concern for me. I'd rather get out a little bit early, but actually obtain a significant amount of money as well. Anyway, all of that is besides the point. The point of this video is to show you OBX, why I got into the trade, and how you can get into the trade. So, as always, and I'm going to repeat myself so many times, but this is how easy OBX is. All I do is I go to the 4 hour. So, as we go to the 4 hour, what I'm looking for on the 4 hour is the last direction that it is heading. So in this case, we're still following the same direction from yesterday, which is bullish. And we became bullish all the way here. If you remember, this is I know it looks tiny, but this is a bearish candle. And then we broke above it. So this now makes this the break of structure. So this is bullish. Now, even though we came all the way back down here, and I really thought we were going to break structure, we didn't break below this huge wick. So down at the end of this box that you can't see because it's covering it, the end of this candle's wick is here, right? So even though price came all the way back down, yes, it technically closed below the most recent order block. It doesn't matter. It hasn't actually broken structure. Now, this is why I say I'm hesitant on this trade, because does it make sense for price to go all the way back up to my TP, or does it make more sense for it to come back down? Honestly, in my mind, it makes more sense for it to come back down just by the way price is acting, unless this is actually the beginning of a full reversal, right? But we haven't actually taken out any sort of strong liquidity yet on any time frame, right? We definitely haven't taken it out on the 4 hour. We definitely haven't taken it out on the 1 day. And the 1 hour is just a little bit insignificant if those haven't been touched. So not concerned with it. I hope it plays out like anybody would, but if it does end up losing, it's a part of the game, right? Be happy with the trade that we took. I always like to think that when trades go into profit to this extent as well, that is more confirmation that you took the right trade, even if it ends up losing. You just got to make sure that you're following the strategy perfectly. So the 1 hour is 4 hour is bullish. Then we go to the 1 hour, and we're trying to just align everything. So by the time I got into the trade here, we had pulled back on the 1 hour all the way down to this 1 hour order block, which is that big candle wick on the 4 hour. Because this is the order block, right? And coming down to it, we broke structure here, so we're bearish. We even broke structure all the way down here in the order block, so we were bearish. But then what did price do? A very interesting thing to me. How the fuck did I zoom in like that? That's mad. But anyway, excited over some dumbass shit. Price actually became bullish after coming into the order block. Now, our trade had not taken place, so you don't take a trade just because it's going bullish again at all. We come down, we become bullish. Jeez, there's so many pop-ups, man. Right here. Very, very small. Very small. But then this is where I say an interesting thing happens. So now, 4 hours aligned, 1 hour is aligned. We're in a mitigated order block, so this is an A setup. We then come down, even though we just broke structure, we came down and we swept this strong low. Because this broke structure, this now becomes the strong low. And we're in the order block and we're looking for a strong low to be taken. And over here, if I go down to the 15-minute, there's nothing, right? On this side. There's nothing, just a big imbalance, huge imbalance. Then we come down, we sweep out what is the strong 1 hour low, even more confirmation. It's better for a 1 hour low or high to be swept in an order block. That's a lot stronger than if a 15-minute strong high or low gets taken, but we can still take the 15 minutes. That's majority of the trades probably will be taken off 15-minute liquidity, but in this case, we got an amazing alignment, plus it came down and took out its own liquidity straight after making it. So that's just a huge fake out. A lot of people would have got stopped out of their trades, but thankfully we're not in those trades yet. Then we go down to the 5-minute and it's the same thing. So once the liquidity has been taken, we just mark up a 5-minute range, and that 5-minute range is the high in this case, vice versa if we're going bearish, but in this case, we mark up the high on the 5-minute that caused the sweep and then the low, right? So from the high to the low of the range on the 5-minute that swept the high time frame or strong liquidity inside or just above the order block, right? And in this case, it just immediately shut up. I really wanted a break of structure on the 5-minute and a break out of this range to take place on this candle. That would have been perfect if we were down here. Would have made our trade a lot smaller, but that doesn't matter. We can't actually say anything about it because it didn't happen. What did happen was we got the break of structure on the 5-minute and the breakout of the range on this candle here. Both huge candles, a lot of momentum. Made sense that price needed to come back and pretty much deal with that huge imbalance that it left behind. It left two huge imbalances. Stops below the range and just enter the trade as normal. Now, like I say, this is huge. This is huge. If I go back to the 1 hour, that's the trade, by the way. Enter for a 1 to 2. If I go back here, it is a huge trade, right? Price is slowly going up there, so that's why I say I'm not surprised with how long price is taking to actually get to TP, if that's where it's heading. It's a huge trade. It's a $20 move on gold. What is that? 2,000 points. 2,000 points? You get the point. It's a huge move. It's going to take a long ass time. But the point is that OBX has actually worked in this case to get us to this point. So it doesn't matter that it's huge. You just need to let it play out. The probabilities of OBX play out in the long term, whether this loses or this wins. It is better if you can take a smaller trade at any point, not just today, I mean in general, because of course a smaller trade is going to be quicker. You're going to be in and out of the market faster. But I also don't want any of you to be scared to take a big trade like this. I know if you don't trade gold, you don't understand how big this move is. It's pretty significant for a day trade. An intraday trade, a scalp, which a 1 to 2 is a scalp, right? So it should be fairly quick. But this is a fairly big trade. You just let it play out. You don't get concerned by it. If you wanted to get out early, you could get out early. You're running the risk of the probability of OBX not playing out to its full potential if you get out early, because then you could go on to lose the next trade and you made no profit. You just made a loss for tomorrow, if that makes sense. So anyway, very simple. OBX playing out fairly well, actually. Yeah, just have to sit and wait. Like I say, the high time frame, super high time frame, doesn't necessarily make me feel confident, but this is just how I analyze the chart. I hope that you can one day analyze it in a similar fashion, maybe add your own twist to it, but for now, that is OBX. I hope you can go and test it. I hope you can see some success with it. And I'm going on holidays soon, so the videos that you see going forward, I will not have a haircut. Maybe one more I'll have a haircut, and then you may wonder, if you care, why things have gone a bit backwards. Pre-recorded videos and tips are coming, and then hopefully next week I do want to try and push myself to make some more in-depth videos for OBX that are not just trade recaps or tip videos. But bear with me, we'll see how things go. As for now, I hope you have a good trading week. I hope you're having a good week in general. God bless, and I will see you soon.